Hello everyone, long time no hear. Today is the 8th of June 2019. I haven't done a podcast lately purely because, I didn't really have anything else to talk about in the sense that South Africa is burning. Listening to TheBurnZA, and it does indeed continue to burn. And I have the same solutions and the same critique and the same everything, and it's carrying on. So, I don't want to just keep on beating the same old drum the whole time. And yes, I still honestly believe that the only way that we can get out of this mess is to free the market, to free up people, to basically not rely on the government for everything. I feel like I'm just shouting into a corner all the time, and I've sort of come to the realization that I'm not really going to convert anyone. I think if you're either going to agree or disagree with me, and yeah, I might be preaching to the choir. And if I am preaching to the choir or speaking to the choir, my friends, I know how you feel. I feel your frustration. I feel it every single day. And it's just so bloody sad. I don't want to leave. Guys, I don't want to leave this country. And things just seem to be escalating and getting worse. One interesting, and I think something that is quite like it's good news, is the fact that the Netherlands are starting to really pay attention to what's happening in South Africa, especially in regards to expropriation of land without compensation. Some things are a little bit more sort of easy to understand than others, but the general thing is that we are still heading towards some sort of a socialist hellhole or utopia. Ramaphosa said that we need to build new futuristic cities. I guess that's sort of taking a little note out of China's book, where they have all of these cities, and yeah, the contractors make like a bank, and no one can live there. Who's living there? Abandoned cities. And yeah, I don't think anything is different. It's not going to change. The politicians that are in power, they're all like, yeah, for the people, for the greater good, comrades, blah blah blah. And it's the same old shit. It's the same old shit. It's the same old rhetoric. Yeah, I've sort of going through these evolutions of emotions, right? Like, I used to be very alarmed and like, try to warn people, and then I go through sort of anger and like rage, and then sort of depression, and now the clown world meme makes sense, to me. It's a fucking clown world. If you're still young and you're listening to this and you think you're gonna grow up into a world where you're going to live in a society where the older people or the I guess the people in charge actually know what they're doing, and you're going to become one of them. Well, that's not true. Maybe you'll be one of them, but for the most part, it's a mess. No one knows what the hell they're doing. Everyone is just acting on their human nature, which is to act within their own self-interest. And to think that these socialist, communist, fucking NDR leaders aren't the same is extremely naive. Everyone is looking out for himself, and my case is still, if that is the case, and then if we are just people that look out for ourselves first and foremost before we start saying that, no, for the people, by the people, for the greater good, and all of this same rhetoric that we've heard for hundreds of years, then it's just the solutions remain the same and the problems remain the same. It's just getting worse, right? It's just getting worse. I guess at this point you just need to make the decision whether you are either going to stay here, ride it out and see what happens, or make a plan to leave. And I think the people that can leave easily have done so, or are doing so at the moment, or are at the moment making plans to leave. The rest of us who are incapable, whether it be for multiple reasons, whether it be financial or familial reasons or whatever, you can, at the end of the day, if you really want to, we can make a plan. But I suspect that there are a lot of people out there listening that can, if they are basically, that they really can if they wanted, if they tried, but they don't because they are South Africans and see no reason why they should leave. And another thing is that these people, these revolutionaries, sort of types, even not even the heavy radicals, but even ANC type people, they are killing themselves. They are killing all of us. They are destroying everything, the economy, safety, everything is corruption everywhere. I got so upset, guys. Jeez, the other day, I went for a beer at a bar, and there was a guy I had a very long conversation with, a very decent, good conversation with. He was a black guy. He's a Zulu dude, and very, very intelligent and very well spoken and everything. And we really did have a good conversation. And I saw him again, and I was quite excited. Like, let's have another chat. And it just came out that this oak is also just part of like crime circles and whatever. And it's just like, well, that's just the way it is. Can't be any other way. and I had lost total respect for the guy. Who knows? Maybe I'll be fucking assassinated at some point. But and I disapproved, right? And I was disappointed, and I made sure he knew that I was. It's just so fucking disappointing, guys. Jesus. But what can we do? Some of us, I guess, need to stay here and sort of document what's happening and support each other and help out. Pretty soon, this whole thing is going to start falling down on these people's heads, like Julius Malema and these guys. Like they have all of this courage and confidence because no one has really stood up and opposed them and said, you know what, enough is enough, and fuck you. Let's like clash some swords, right? Let's go. Let's do it. But it will end up there. It will reach that point where people will become extreme, and then the whole world will be so fucking surprised. Oh my god, how did this ever happen? And what, blah blah blah, supremacy and fucking right wing and all of this. It's like, no, guys, you idiots, you are creating all of this. The everything that is happening comes as a result of your rhetoric and your policies and the way that you want to do things. How you just easily threaten people and rile people up like fucking Lenin and the Bolsheviks. Guys, for the sake of all that is bloody good, please just chill out on that hardcore rhetoric, because you are creating the very enemy which you claim to despise. That people just want to live their lives. People just want to mind their own business. People want to, work to that goal, go on holiday, and maybe travel a little bit, buy a car, a house, have a family, and go to the movies on the weekends, and maybe have some spur or something. There isn't this giant plot and these conspiracy theories and everything, but you know what? You are creating all of this, and it will come to fruition. It will materialize. Your worst nightmare will become your reality. And I'm just urging you not to do it. But I'm talking against a wall. Like I said, I'm shouting into the fucking corner of a white painted wall. And all I can do is basically just vent, right? Perhaps you're not a South African and you're listening from some other country. Then good. Then you can at least get a picture of sort of how people feel here. I think I'm quite outspoken, but I'm generally not on the fringe when it comes to the sort of the point of frustration that I am at the moment. I'm not. People are becoming more extreme in their views and more extreme in their backlash and everything, and this ends terribly. And it doesn't have to. This is the most frustrating thing of all. It doesn't have to end in bloodshed and famine and starvation and just economic collapse. It doesn't have to. But I really believe it is just, it's hatred, malice, it's Yeah, guy. I don't know what this is. This is probably just an audio log. I mean, I haven't really prepared for this. I didn't write anything down, so it's very loose and everything. But guys, it's tough. It's really tough. Like let's try and just open our eyes and open other people's eyes and just shake each other awake and say, listen, 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 guys. Like just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is the fucking definition of idiocy. And yeah, everyone is an idiot at this point, but including me. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. What an idiot. Anyways, take care of yourselves, guys. Have a good week. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the beautiful week. Let's see what next week holds in. I mean, I can't even do news stories at this point because every 4 hours, every 3 hours, something crazy happens. And I don't want to fall into that trap and be that sort of YouTube channel. I'd rather stay broader and just give you a flavor of the general sort of consensus. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.